tour here of the museum. It'll be about 30 minutes, which I've seen it a couple of times, and I wish we had so much more time because I've spent hours here, and it's just so beautiful to hear from Kusal describing each of the items here and just the legacy of the Kanai culture. But we have about half an hour to 40 minutes or so, and I invite each of you to come back and bring family and friends and your networks. And then from there, we'll head to a local restaurant, which is about 5 minutes away, where we're going to have some conversations with everyone here and more people in the community.
This is it.
This is it. Okay, this is it.
Yeah.
And then from there, we'll have a small little ideation in that space as well, which will be led by Leah. So I'll hand it over to Leah.
Yeah. I came into Molly and Shmila's space back in November, and it was led by, I felt like the first word that came out of my mouth regarding ARC, now it's Alight for the first day, is that this organization was the start of my life when I was at a refugee camp. I was a 7-year-old, and I actually have a picture, and I'm gonna bring it up and share with you. I actually have slipper on, but my brother doesn't have any, so it's kind of, it looked bad, the picture, but it shows where we were, how we started our humble beginning at the camp. So as I had more conversation, I brought them in, and then I think later on in March, Kosal invited me to come out and help the organization IKare, and I was intrigued about the Klein Legacy Museum. So I've always wanted to do something to preserve, because I have a 9-year-old, and Kosal have it. We look at our kids, we're like, they're not gonna get anything out of us because we don't even have anything. So we gotta get stuff from our parents, and our parents are dying. So we're in a critical points where let's just try to pull the information out of their head, and they went through such a trauma that they don't want to talk about it because it's very painful. So our journey of trying to rediscover ourselves is starting here at IKare. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Kosasek. He's the board chair, managing director, janitor, fixer, everything. He's been living here with his wife. He and his wife put heart and soul into this organization. They sometimes sleep here and host people from all over the world, and for about 4 years now. Kosal?
Thank you. And dreamer. And that's in fact that's what we are, and that's why we create this place. Around 2013, I had returned from Cambodia. I had never visited Cambodia until 2006. So from 1981 to 2006, all of my friends had blonde hair, sandy hair, curly hair. Very few were Cambodians. And then went through college, my professional career. I was thinking about what's the latest technology in e-commerce. And then right around 2006, something sort of changed. I became interested in answering, who am I? And at that point in time, I was in my sort of early 30s, thinking about family. So I met a wonderful woman in Cambodia, and I went there in 2006 to meet her through an acquaintance of the family. And we ended up getting married, and I thought, well, it'd be nice to kind of learn where was I born, and how did my father get killed, who killed him. And then I stayed there to volunteer for about 6 months, just as a sort of as a personal mission to understand who I am as a person and what I should be doing to impact those who may not have the opportunities and the privilege that we have here in America. So then I stayed there for 6 months, and then with a microfinance institution at the time, and they asked me to stay another 6 months to another year, another year, another year, another year. So after 5 years of working in Cambodia and throughout Southeast Asia, I came back here and I saw a group of gentlemen, these young fellas in their 70s and 80s were advocating for recognition. And at that time, the word veteran never clicked in my mind until 2013, 2014. I never knew they were Khmer veterans even. You say, well, why wouldn't you think about Khmer veterans? Well, it wasn't a topic of discussion. It wasn't a topic that we talked about, and it wasn't a topic that the community was proud of to talk about. And then I realized that these guys wanted to lobby basically for America to affirm and to acknowledge that the Cambodians fought alongside the United States for the values that we believe in today, for the democracy, for the sacrifice and the opportunities that we have today. And even at that time, it didn't really click to me. I just thought, oh, it'd be kind of nice, because here's my wife. She came from a country she has no American friends, she has no Khmer friends. So I thought, well, it'd be nice to just volunteer at this organization. It was 95% people over the ages of 60. And we knew at that time that if the younger generations didn't care, didn't step in to help these elders, they weren't going to get affirmed. They weren't going to get that recognition. Because some of these guys have watched their family members murdered, killed, raped, demeaned, and all they wanted, they weren't lobbying for money. They weren't advocating for any benefits. They were really asking for America to sort of make the secret war become something that they can feel proud of. Because up until 2012, it was a secret war, and secret wars are designed to be secretive. Designed so that you don't know about it, you won't talk about it. So we got the resolution passed in 2014 at the House and the Senate level in the state of Minnesota, and then we took that same resolution to Washington, D.C. in 2014, 15, 16. We finally got the U.S. Senate to pass. And when that passed, we came back, and I had this idea that why should we just recognize the 3 years, 8 months, and 4 days of torture, of genocide? Why don't we just recognize the 2,000-3,000 years of heritage, of culture, of contributions, of things that make them feel proud, things that they want to continue on? Because we don't want to continue telling stories of killing, of genocide 100 years from today, about how the Civil War led to the invasion, and the invasion led to 2-3 million people dying. It's a part of our history, but at the same time, these people, and I just learned this 3 weeks ago, just like ARC, they don't want to be known as just a refugee. They don't want to be known as a genocide survivor. They're a human being with abundance, with lots to share, with light. And so we decided to create a museum. And if you came here 4 years ago, what you would see is a bunch of flags of all the different nations who signed the Paris Peace Agreement of 1991 to really demand democracy for the Cambodian refugees and the Cambodians throughout the world, and in particular, Cambodia. So you would have 200 men convene on a weekly basis to share stories of how they got here, and how many kids they have, how terrible the grandchildren are, and how they're not listening to the oral stories of